Let's say, for example, now if we take the align dimension, we are all know, correct? Point to point, we can place a dimension. For example, I have one line which is inclined. To measure the dimension from this point to this point, I will use the annotate align dimension. First point and second point. Align means total length of the line. If I go to the linear one, okay, this point to this point, we get this kind of the dimension. What is mean exactly? If you take the linear dimension, it will measure perpendicular to point, perpendicular length. But if you take the align one, it will measure total length of the line. Only difference to place the align dimension and linear dimension. This is the difference. Now, let's say for example, I am going to draw one more line. Annotation, sorry, architecture, model line. I want to draw some line like this. If I want to measure this angle, I will go to the annotate angular dimension. 1, 2. If I want to change the angle, select any one of the object and dimension will get enabled. Click on the dimension, you can change the dimension, angle. At the same time, I am going to model line. I want to draw one circle. Now I want to place the dimension for this circle. I will go to the annotate. If I take the radial, this is the radius dimension. Okay. Now I'm going to delete. If you take the diameter, I can place the diameter of the circle. Let's say, for example, now I am going to draw an arc. I will take the model line. Here I will use the start and radius type of the arc. Start and radius. Now I want to see what is the radius of this arc. I will go to the annotate radial dimension. I will select this. For the diameter, I will use the diameter. Okay. Here, let's say I want to take one model line like this. Now I want to place one fillet arc here. I will go to the modify. Okay, no, fillet is in the draw command. Go to the architecture, model line, take the fillet radius, fillet arc, select it. First point, second point, third point, you can press pyramid. Now, I want to measure length of this arc. What is exactly length of this arc? If you see length of the arc in the property, you can see 3347.8. This information I want to place as a dimension. So what I use, I will go to the annotate. I will use the arc length. Okay, arc length. This point. Okay, and let's see. Arc length. Select the arc. First point, second. When you select it, you can see the 3347.8. If you want to see exactly value, go to the manage project units. In the project units, length, use the decimals. 2 decimals. Now you can see the 3347.76. Okay, if you increase the decimals, it will give it. So if you select this one, we have only 2 decimal, which is 3347.76. Here also 3347.76. If you don't want any decimals, go to UN shortcut or go to the manage project units. Here you go to the length and you can remove the decimals. Right. Okay. And one more thing. Sometimes what we do in AutoCAD, we will round up our dimensions to nearest to the 50, 40 with 10 multiplications. To those things, go to the project unit and length. If you see the rounding, in the rounding we are to the nearest to 10 to the nearest 100, like this. I am going to the nearest to 10. If I click it, it will make the round figure. I mean, it will become the round figure to the nearest value with the 10 multiplications. Okay. According to situation, we have to use it, but not recommended these kind of the things. But we have to, wherever we, if you want to present something, we can do it. Practically, it's not correct. If you want to measure drawing exactly point to point, this process is not suggestible. Okay. And coming to the annotate and the spot elevation. So very, very important spot elevation. Let's say now I am in the 3D view. If I want to see the elevation of this floor, I will go to the spot elevation and I place a dimension. This is my elevation. How much? 3 meters. And I will go to the spot elevation. Again, I will place. This is showing as a 0. Okay. If you go to the elevation, you can see this is 0 and this is a 3 meter. This kind of the information we can place with the spot elevations. To check the height information, we use the spot elevation. Let's say I'm going to use spot elevation on the railing and particular point. What is the elevation? Like this. Okay, wherever you want to check the elevation, we can use the spot elevation. Okay. Now spot coordinate. Spot coordinate means x comma y. Let's say, for example, I want to measure these coordinates. I will go to the spot coordinates. I will place coordinated value and northeast coordinates. Okay. Here, one more thing is a very, very important thing. Let's say this is my slab. Correct? So very, very important. Listen carefully. This is my slab, or else I want to draw one slab. Go to the architectural. I am going to take the structure. I am going to take one floor. A small floor I want to draw it. Finish. Okay. Here, if you see, I want to show some slope information on this. Generally, this is the top of the slab. Let's say, for example, for the draining point of view, we need to specify some slope. To specify some slope, we need to manage this flat surface. Let's say, for example, now I am going to the annotate. I want to measure the spot elevation. If you measure anywhere is the same because it is a flat. Now let's say I want to do some slope for this direction. To place the slope on the floors, if you select the floor, here you can see the modify sub elements. If you select the floor only, it will get enabled. What is my task? I want to make some slope for the drain of the water. Okay. If you select the slab, you can see the modify sub element. I'm going to click it. Then it will become the edit mode. In the edit mode, I want to place one point here. I will go to the audio point. I want to place here. So after placing, select, edit. If you select this point here, you can see the elevation. Let's say, for example, if I want to give the -100, it will go little bit down. Okay, let us see in the 3D view. Can you see? We got some slope. Now I am going to the floor plan. I want to make one section here. Let's say I want to draw the section. Here, what is happening? When I place one slope point, here slab also bending like this. Actually, it should be straight and top should be slope. But if you see this, here we have the bend like this. To avoid this kind of the bends, okay, in section itself, I can select, go to the edit floor. In the edit floor, we have the structure. Here, if you see the variable option, it's a very important option. Variable option, click the variable. Okay, apply. Okay, now you can see the bottom also straight. If you go to the 3D view, now you can see the top, we have the slope. Let's say, for example, how much slope we have. Again, I will go to the annotator, go to the slope. Select, it will show the slope. To indicate the slope, we have the different methods. Now it is see 0.5 degrees it's showing, correct? If I want to measure in different way, go to the manage. Again, go to the project units. Here you can see the where is the slope. It is showing in the degrees. If you want to change in the different direction, let's say ratio, per mile, percentage, ratio, like this. Let's say if I want to take the percentage, okay, it will show in the percentage. 0.08% slope we have towards this side. How we place it this dimension? Go to the annotate and use the slope dimension. Say each line is showing the different slope line. If you want to change this units, go to the manage. Where is manage? Project units. Add the slope. You can change it. And this time I want to use the ratio is to 1. 0.001 is to 1. So how you want to present, you can change the units. To create the slope processes, select the floor, go to the modify sub elements, add the point wherever you want, you can place it. Okay. So here you can change the elevation for this. Let's say now we have the -50. It will go down. We have the now 2 slope lines. Okay. And one more important thing. I don't want to see these lines. Okay. When you select the object, right? If you go to this view, here we have the line work. If you go to the line work, here you can see the different kind of the line works. Now I will go to the invisible line. I will click to the invisible so that I cannot see the lines. If I want to see the something center line and different line types, I want to use the there's a center line. If I select it, it will show the center line. Okay, this is additional option. If you want to If you don't want to see any lines in the drawing, just go to select one object in the view. Here you have the line work. Go to the line work and change the line text, whatever you want. In a visual line means you cannot see the lines. So now this annotation part is clear for everyone.
Yes, clear.